Hello, my friends. Just waiting on Heather. It's good to have you in our lives. Thank you to all the patrons over on our Patreon channel, Woke.Ones.Revolution. That link is down below. And Heather named it Woke.Ones.Revolution because it's kind of like, are you awake? Yes. Okay, well, it's our revolution. It's quite simple. Hello, Heather. I'm going to pause that so we don't get kicked off, which I have done before. So
maybe it's my audio. Nope, there you are. Hi.
Hi, friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
I may end up getting a phone call that I have to take, but I'm here.
Well, at least Mal is behind you on the bed, stretching.
Oh,
And
that's Luna. That's my
oh,
Luna
is it
girl.
Luna? She's
Yeah.
so soft. She is
She
so
just,
soft. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute.
I know. I know. It's so pretty. How are you?
Thank you. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
A shining star, maybe.
Ah, man.
Well, while you were taking that phone call, I was looking at what's going on in the world. And I know that we're hanging out today, and I know that we're going to talk about astrology. I wanted to see if people showed up and wanted to see. I mean, there's several things in astrology you could look at, right? You could look at the daily, you could look at the weekly, you could pull up for the holidays. Happy Hanukkah to everyone who is celebrating. I think today is day 2. But then there's some other things you could look at, like
Yeah.
Rob Reiner.
That's so sad.
It was
Really.
terrible.
So, so sad.
As
Um,
yeah,
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to get into our live here on YouTube. Sorry, multitasking.
no, you're good. Hey, Sarah. Sarah's here. Hi, Brandon. Hello.
Hey, Sarah Jean, Brandon. Hey, hey, hey. All right. So are we doing this one for everyone or is this one for patrons
No,
only?
this one's for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Whatever we do here, I figure we'll do the other over on the $18 level on our Patreon channel. And so if you guys are on that level, that tier in our Patreon channel, I think we have a few of you, then anticipate us showing up live for you guys. Hi, Dolores.
Dolores. Hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if yeah, because there was that. I sent you a message like the moment I saw that him and his wife, that Rob Reiner and his wife were found.
Yeah.
And so immediately as an astrologer, I had to go pull the chart. And yeah, and the story is just really so sad. It is. I mean, it's
Tragic.
kind of, and the fact that, it was their son, they're saying that it was their son that did it. And, that he had addiction issues, mental health issues, and that's definitely something a lot of people are dealing with this time of year. And
Yeah.
so if you know somebody that needs help, or if you are somebody that needs help,
Yeah.
definitely don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore it. I
I would
know it's the
also add
holiday.
on to that piece that if you know you are one of those that has problems, then in my world, in my mindset with my own self, it's your responsibility to kind of set things up for success before we even get to that point. And
Mhm.
if you're one of those that falls into seasonal issues like Heather's talking about, hopefully you have your plan in place before any of that happens, because it could happen in a flash. I know because I myself have them. Um, And yes, my therapist is calling me like every day going, "Hey, how do you feel?" And I'm like, "Leave me alone." But it is part of the program. So it's my
Yeah.
responsibility. So I'm just throwing that in there.
I felt that same way. Like, not now, like,
Right.
not right now. I just don't, I don't feel like it. But yeah, I mean, it is if it's and beyond therapy, but
Like you
if
would
you,
know. You would know if you're a seasonal.
yeah,
Like you would know. Mine comes like every other year. Yeah. And any kind of important date, a birthday, a death date, a holiday, um, the ripping and the shredding of the grief that just boom. And for me, because thankfully, because I have Heather, um, she is my we would call in the army our battle buddy. That's what they would call Heather. So she is part of my plan. Um, but also we have astrology.
which
And
truly, it
if
truly,
you are diligent and disciplined and are taking a moon journal, for those of you that have ever done a moon journal, you know what I'm talking about, where you can follow the moon throughout your chart throughout the month and see as it goes through every single zodiac sign. You can see, and especially because we're not just empaths, we're star seeds, we're Pleiadians, we're all of these very sensitive, people. And so when the moon shifts signs, you can tell. I can tell. Heather can tell. It shifts into Capricorn, and all of a sudden we're like, yeah, let's go. Let's do.
it's
You
sort of
know,
the biggest shift I always feel though is Pisces moon into Aries, because it's like you go from being all creative and dreamy and blah blah, or
the whole
feeling
office goes, boom.
foggy and confused, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna do something about
Right.
it.
Somebody says, hey, I own a knife. And you're like, oh, okay. Good for
Yeah,
you. Where'd
yeah,
that come from?
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Do you
knives, and
do you guys in
yeah.
the comments, can you feel the movement from a Pisces moon into an Aries moon, like during the
It's
month? Let us know.
Yeah. Let us know. I noticed that shift big time. I mean, I'm an Aries rising, so maybe that's why I feel it, but I would guess, that just emotionally that,
Yeah.
and yeah, that Aries moon, although it's uh it's a quick moon. It's also
Yeah.
like one of the smallest rising
It's
signs, like
friendly.
a little tiny little bit. Once
Very
the moon
friendly.
goes through there, it goes through pretty fast.
Yeah.
Um
Follow that.
Dolores says, for some reason, my SAD is reversed, or seasonal depression is reversed.
Oh,
I get down in the summer. I appreciate the advice and plan for it coming. Yeah. Um, it's the, it's been a rough year for a lot of people, a lot of major changes.
yeah.
And I'd say more than half of them were unexpected. And, I too, Miriam was talking about, I too have struggled with depression and anxiety. And that's something that I haven't had to deal with in a really long time because, I mean, I guess I had some years that I was dealing with the shadow work and doing all that, but just having, I had my rug pulled out from underneath me in May. Well, and actually that started in what, June of 2024. Rug
Hmm.
pull, rug pull, rug pull. So,
Yeah.
just when I started feeling like things were getting back on track, that's when we were in the depths of Saturn, Neptune at the end degrees of Pisces last year into the beginning of this year. And I was like, well, that lift. And then everything started to move into Aries and then rug pull again. And so the depression has been pretty hard. It's been a really hard year for me. And Miriam's been my battle buddy. And so if you're struggling, get yourself a battle buddy.
Yeah.
Battle buddy's going to be the one that's going to not, let me put it this way. They'll be
I'm not
honest
going to
with
be afraid.
They'll be honest with you. They'll be there with you. And I'm not talking about somebody that wants to be there with you to get something out of you or to
Right.
expect something in return. But
Right.
they're going to be honest with you. And if you're, if you're in a place and you're struggling, but you're
Yeah.
not looking at yourself, the battle buddy's going to say, hey, time to stop that.
I'm watching
Look,
out for you.
I love
And
you.
I'm
And I
not
know,
afraid of your anger. I can take you on. And
yeah,
so, even just in the past couple of weeks, Heather has had to stop me maybe 2 weeks ago. And she said, I'm watching you, and you're going over here and then over there and then over there. What's going on? She did those hand motions. What's kind of going on in your head? And we were able to slow down. My sponsors used to say, Miriam, you run around the track, run around the track, run around the track. Now we're watching you run the track, but then you take a knee and you look up into the bleachers and you look at all your coaches. You go, tell me what, tell me what. And then you get up and you run and then you take a knee. The taking of the knee, like we've gone through Capricorn rules depression, Virgo rules guilt. Virgo will also rule the place that you're taking a knee. And I take a knee to Heather. She'll tell you I'm not lording over her in any sort of way. We're very polite with one another. When there's an issue, we sit down and we talk with, because the other person wants you like just as well as they can get you.
yeah. And we do wellness checks. Like I'll get up and she's an early riser. I'm not. And when I get up, I'm one of those, give me a good 2 hours before you try talking, because I'm still trying to do this whole what is life thing. I just, but we do this thing where I'll come out, hi, and, ready to smile and be happy. And she's like, how are we doing today?
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, how are we doing today? How are you doing today?
Right.
And, it's honesty. Like, look,
Because I get up at like 5 and I'm
yeah.
on the go.
And she's adjusted to me like I couldn't sleep for many months.
Many months.
Many months. I wasn't able to sleep due to all the anxiety and depression that I was dealing with. And I've finally been able to get some sleep, but she's still got me beat. I can't wake up that early, but, there's days where I don't feel like doing anything. There's days where she doesn't feel like doing anything, or there's days where, look, we just want to sit down and we're ready to go. But then all of a sudden the moon moves and we're like, whoa, what happened? Energy's not right, and then there's days where it's like, yeah, we're good. Let's go. So everybody has those days, and not, I just keep in mind with the holiday season, not everybody has that battle buddy. So if you see somebody struggling, you jump in and ask, really, are you okay? And give the grace of listening. A lot of times people just need to feel heard. But yeah, if we're going back and talking about like what's going on in the world, there is quite a bit of tension in the sky. And I was looking for what was the date of that. Was that the 13th that that Rob Reiner and his wife were found?
While you were speaking that last little bit, I know you could hear me clickety clacking. There was something that came out this past week that was talking about consciousness extending beyond the brain during our sleep. Oh, say we don't. But there was definitely like my Mr. Armstrong is not, he's acting like he's dumb. And I know he's not dumb. He needs to pick up the pace. Okay. Let's see. Throughout history, cultures across the globe have embraced the idea that the soul can embark on journeys while the physical body rests. Ancient Egyptians believed in the concept of Ba, a part of the soul that could leave the body during sleep and travel to other realms. Similarly, Native American traditions speak of vision quests and dream journeys where the spirit ventures beyond the confines of the physical form. These beliefs have persisted through the ages. I'm not looking at that. There was unraveling sleep journeys. I swear to God, it was something that came out recent. No, 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 no. It was like Japanese sleep researchers recently found, I'm going to put it in there, recently, that consciousness, I think it was goes somewhere
Yeah, I
during
remember
sleep,
something about that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's recent. Here we go.
Talk.
I got to share this. Do you mind?
No, I was just thinking of astral projection, like when you're dreaming, like just
Yes. We all
bilocating.
get the
Yeah.
downloads, and then I don't have the ability. You have the ability. I should send you some places. I've never asked you to go somewhere for me.
I
Heather.
rarely, like, I've never tackled that as far as
Hmm.
um, being able to control it at all, you know? Like, mine happened, you know, like, what's the weirdest thing? And it's not safe, but it would happen a lot when I was driving. Like, I'm
Oh,
actively paying attention to where
are
I'm
you
going.
serious?
And then all of a sudden, I'm in some other place and I'm seeing all kinds of things in this other place. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm still on the road. That's scary. You know, I've had that happen, but it's usually when I'm in motion. When I'm in motion, that's when I tend to be able to go places, but I don't really have control over where
I
it's
can't
at.
remember what's in your third house.
Gemini and nothing. Psyche. My
Gemini and
psyche.
nothing.
My psyche's in Gemini.
Oh, that's cheating, isn't it? Have Psyche in your third house. That's kind of cheating.
Neptune in my ninth, Sag. Yeah.
Yeah, that one, sure. But Psyche,
Lots of
Psyche
travel.
opposing Neptune. Wow.
I mean, it's a
It's almost
wide
like your soul is rebellious.
oh, I know.
You're like, I know.
Shh, leave my secrets for me to tell.
Well, the third house would rule. Okay, so third house, ninth house, squaring Pisces. Pisces is where we sleep, right? And that's where the divine collective is as one. And so, third house, ninth house squaring the place of sleep. Third house would be local travel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and foreign travel is 12th.
Foreign travel is 12th. So when you astral project,
Foreign places.
wouldn't that
Yeah.
be foreign travel? I
Yeah,
also know, wouldn't it?
I think it very much so. It's how it's played out in my life.
So what if you have like Pisces over the third house? Would you like the whole space is no, 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 no. This is what I know in my research, and I'm still constantly searching through the 12th house Pisces energy, constant. I'm always giving it new names. And for me, in the past year, earlier last year, I discovered that the space between us is Pisces, right?
Yeah.
And that the space between us is called dark matter. Dark
Yeah.
matter. There are small, tiny particles that are not attached to anything in a way where the thing would be like, oh, cool, we met, let's merge, build
Yeah.
an Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and go down the thing. So these particles to me are like letters and they're floating through the air. And so if you had Pisces over the third house, Neptune in the third house, then all of it would seem like local travel. Or do you think the dark matter, if you had access to dark matter, what do you think?
Do I think like it affects the ability?
Yeah. Like, is it that your third house is the dark matter, and that anytime you found a space of dark matter, you could literally Pisces go into a
Feel it.
dream state and
I suppose
see?
it's possible. I mean, that's a neat way to think of it. I've never really thought of it that way. But yeah, I mean,
You could
makes
see
sense.
things through the dark matter.
Makes
It'd be
sense.
a lot like, not the clair, it'd be the clairsentient who can
I would
pick up
definitely
an
think,
object and be able to touch it and see where it came from, right?
hmm,
I don't know. We
yeah.
got to find somebody.
I don't
I got to
know. So
test
I
my
mean,
theory.
I think that the third house, if a third house embodies the Gemini spirit, right? But it's
Right,
Pisces, that person is going to have easier access in the mental facilities to be able to just have all the clear, with clairs. And then you talked about touching something. To me, that's Taurus. So that would be like, um, more of a Taurus thing to touch it
right.
and to be able to
But
see
to
a vision
see it,
over it.
what if the person doesn't know that they're like sleepwalking, right?
I yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
Neptune and Pisces over the third.
Well, one thing that's Neptune and Pisces over the third, yeah.
Here, you
Yeah,
say that, I'm
sleepwalking
listening.
because that's moving. Yeah, I mean that's a movement. But like I don't know. My Pisces is in, or my Neptune is in the ninth, but I am a 12th house Pisces. My 12th house is huge and it's pretty empty, with the exception of like Priapus and a couple of the like Merlin asteroid and things like that are in my 12th. But I have always been one that I sleep through, like I grew up in Kansas, I sleep through tornado warnings, the sirens. I can sleep through pretty much anything. I'm one of those people that I've got to have 10 alarms set because I will not wake up. I dream very hard. And yes, I've had very prophetic dreams.
Right,
Um, and I'm an Aquarius moon, which I very much equate to my interstellar travel in my dreams, because I do have interstellar dreams. But that also happens when my downloads come through too, which is interesting. Like we've done. You had me do a past life regression thing on you, and we were just practicing because it's not something that I do. And
I
she
do.
called me up. She called me up one day, and this was when her and I were first like becoming friends. She called me up one day and she's like, did it, and she got lost in time and whatever and was doing it for like an hour and a half. And then she's like, okay, now you do me. And I'm like, what the shit? Where did that come
It's
from?
so much
I don't know.
fun.
What do you like to put me on the spot? So I was like, all right, well, I'll try. And I was
Right.
sitting outside. I do have Sitting outside really helps me be able to tap into channeling. And so I was sitting outside and I remember tapping in, and about every three scenes I got hurled to a different planet, like, and I would loop around up in the space so that I would come back down, and it was I that's how it was working for me. And
It's a roller coaster.
I blew my own damn mind, and it was pretty cool. But
Well,
as
I
far
wanted to
as
show you this Pisces over the third, Neptune in the third house. Um, I'm going to share my screen there. That one, my friend. I don't know if you could see it. Let me move
it's
this out of the way.
just
See
so
that house
trying.
right there? Is it on the
Yeah.
screen? Okay. Well,
If it rains one more inch.
okay. So the father of my children took me on a tour once. This is the St. Lawrence River up in New York, and it looks like this. It's beautiful out there, right? So the tour guide is on the tour guide, and he said that a gentleman back in the 1800s built this house, and he had a mother-in-law. This back door was called mother-in-law's door back there. And so it's like a real story. It's crazy. Well,
Wow.
he didn't tell anybody that his mother-in-law was a sleepwalker. And he built the house in hopes that she would open the back door and just fall into the water. And it was supposed to be the mother-in-law's door. And then
Very
somebody on the boat was like, "Did it ever happen?" And
nice.
the tour guide was like, "No, no." He was so, I'm sure the disappointment was felt. But for me, I associate. Well, let me just say, I'm an excellent storyteller. Everyone knows this who follow our channel. If you're new here, hello, my name's Miriam. I'm a really good storyteller. And for me, I pair in my mind the zodiac signs. I'm always stretching further to find better descriptions for each of the zodiac signs. And I will, I'll see something like this. It's in a picture form. I'll hear the story and my mind goes, God dang, that's like, Mercury in the 12th. This
Yeah,
would be like Neptune in the third house, Pisces over the third house, or Neptune conjunct Mercury. This visual right here, I'll carry with me for a really long time and
yeah,
chuckle in my head. And when I'm reading y'all's charts, and I'll be like, oh, that's the mother in law's door.
right.
That's what that is, because it gives you both. Some folks would only want to focus on the Neptune piece. But it's like a derivative of how would you say, a derivative of I mean, how would you feel about that if you had Mercury, which is the lower, lesser octave of
Right,
Uranus,
right.
and then you have Neptune, which is the higher octave of Venus, and now they're both conjunct, or they're both talking with one another. Talk to me, George.
Mercury and Neptune. Is that what you said?
No, I
What
mean,
would you?
how would you feel about that? That you have a generational planet next to a lower octave planet,
Oh,
because it would have the feel of Uranus. Uranus is a yang energy. I don't think we talk about Aquarius a whole lot, or Pisces energy. And I get
mhm.
those questions from all y'all that's like, you never get to the 12th house. Just wait till I do. I'm just interrupted at the moment. Just wait till I do. Because it's stuff like this where you have the lesser and the higher, and the
Right.
one vibration is like, it's very, but it's longer. The space between the reverberations would be longer. Like you
Mhm.
press a note on the piano or you strum a note on the guitar. To me, you'd hold the note longer, 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 longer. And
Right.
the little notes would be the punctuations. But you see what I'm doing with my descriptions. I'm putting them in a form,
Mhm.
and then I'm asking Heather, let's talk about it. How do you see a higher octave generational planet standing next to a personal planet?
Well, I mean, I think that it's no pun intended, it's gonna trump the other energy. And so it's going to be an ever existing octave that that directly affects. So if it's Venus, you said Venus, right? Or you said Mercury. So
No,
like if it's
I said Mercury. Yeah.
so if it's Neptune and Mercury that are together. Mercury when it's in Pisces, it's not at its fullest strength, you know. I know Mercury in Sag is it's in its detriment, right? It's as far away from its home as it can get
That's
because it's
sad.
across the board at Gemini, right?
Yeah.
Um, but if we're talking about Mercury and Pisces, yes, the Neptune is going. I would think that the Neptune would flood it so much that it would be really hard to stay focused.
Right.
Really, and that's good. I think that it would be a subset that would just be with the person all the time. Granted, I think in time the person would learn to acclimate to how it is, but Neptune is very dreamy. It's confusing, it's creative, it's spiritual. So you're putting Neptune and Pisces energy is very hard to see how it's going to spin. But you put Mercury, that person, the talk, how you think, how you talk, how you, verbally express, um, uh, how you express is going to come off very Neptunian.
Right.
So it's either going to be really vague,
Right.
really vague, just kind of like Pisces energy. It's that dark space in between, right? It's the air. You can't, you know, you can't quite grasp it. But it could also be extremely psychic, because Neptune is like God, right?
Uh,
It's those realms that we can't see. Mercury, conjunct Neptune, can also be a very creative writer, speaker. It's an artist,
yeah.
you know. It is artistic. Neptune and Pisces, or Mercury and Neptune. Neptune can also be self-undoing. It's addictions. It struggles with mental health and health issues and spiritual issues. So if you have a natal Mercury there, you might have good parts of your life where you may struggle with addiction,
Yep.
self-undoing. So when you say how does it express,
We're
that octave
learning about it.
that octave of Neptune is an ever existing element of that person's Mercury, and it can
Right.
change. You can have higher. It's so changeable, but it has to do with somebody's maturity level, life experiences, evolution. How have they gotten? If they had addiction issues, did they get addiction issues fixed, and did they fix it with art and then become an amazing artist? And that old story is no longer relevant. And that's kind of interesting that it rolled out that way to me, because it's like there's so many changes happening in the sky right now, that have people halfway in both worlds, in their old world, halfway in your old world, halfway in your new world, and kind of standing somewhere in between, and having a hard time pulling your foot back out of the old world and stepping fully into this newness. And I mean, that's really what's going to be happening for all of us in 2026. It's happening no matter what. I
Right.
don't know. Are you clicking the chart, babe?
What?
Did you click the chart
I
in
opened
Astro?
it. Yeah.
Okay, rather than click the chart, go back to the other screen because it shows up darker bold.
This
You
one?
know, the original, yeah. Close out oh, you did chart of the moment. That's why. So the
Yeah, I
chart of
was
the
doing
moment,
chart of the moment.
okay, so chart of the moment's the one that shows up really blank. Like we don't have enough dark ink in the printer. Okay, never mind. I was just curious.
Wait, wait. So if I put it like this, can you see it better?
No, you got to
Really?
scroll it, move it to the left.
Okay. I
Just
will, I'll set it
drag
up.
it.
I'll set it up
I wonder
and
if it
then
does it
I
on
will
both of
share.
ours. I wonder if it does that on both of ours, because I have
Yes, it does.
the it does. It seems to only be the chart at the moment that does that.
All right. Let me put in the chart of the now. I do know this, that wherever the person's Mercury is, that's what they're really interested in. And you're right. They'll end up doing research, watching movies, listening to particular songs that all have to do with that Mercury placement. And so, like, if you want to know what that person's thinking about, I personally have Mercury in the first decan. That matters too, in the 12th house. So, yeah, I spend a lot of time thinking about not just God, like, he's my first thought, but my second thought is usually spirituality or religions, mainly Christianity. That's part of my chart, and Christianity is part of my karma. So here, I found one. Wherever your Mercury placement, and personally, I do think it depends on the decan. That first decan will be about basic social structures and systems. Um, Not to say that you couldn't have a higher, elementary knowledge about whatever topic you're in. I'm not saying any of that right. Is it the 16th of December?
Is.
This freaking year, man. Here, I've got Washington, D.C. That'll work for me. And they just got notified in Washington about a very large storm that's coming. All right, now you tell me whether you can see this better. Take your time, Miriam. Okay. Is that not better?
Better.
Eh?
Better as it's going to be. It's
Okay.
good and centered. Yes, I can see the whole chart now.
Like right now, the
It's just that,
Pisces, 21st degree of Pisces conjunct, and
did
it's
I
only going to move in tighter, man. Look at that nonsense.
not? All
So,
right.
of course, we're going to
So,
go live while the moon is doing this, and we're doing something that is relative to the ninth house on that square, which is teaching.
so let's do a little trial, people watching this before the moon moves into Aries. Pay attention. I can look. I can look real quick and see when it's going to move into Aries, like the
It's,
exact time.
oh, yeah.
But
And then we'll
but
wake up.
I want you guys to. I want you guys collectively to just notice the shift in your emotion and the people around you's emotion,
Yep.
the vibe. Do you go from being really like la da da to
Yep.
now I'm cleaning shit, or like whatever you do. But you should notice a shift in the energy, and I'm
And look,
curious.
we're talking about sleep, objectless sleep experiences. And this is the one I wanted to say a minute ago. It says where researchers found evidence in Japan that consciousness can persist in sleep without dreams or sensory content. They have been, okay, Japanese and international teams have been exploring this rare state, suggesting that awareness may go somewhere beyond ordinary dreaming, right? Scientists documented cases where people reported being aware during sleep, but without images, thoughts, or sensory input. This is different from dreaming or lucid dreaming, right? Researchers in Japan and collaborators worldwide have been studying these states using interviews and surveys, finding that consciousness can exist in a bare form during sleep. The challenge to mainstream scientists, traditional theories say that consciousness always has an object, something you're aware of. These findings suggest consciousness can exist without one, almost like it travels or resides in a different mode. Well, I told you why it resonates with astral travel, and that's just my Armstrong AI. Look,
Oh, yeah,
they're
it's doing
finding
it.
it, y'all.
I will, and I'm gonna call out a little slip up. What date are you looking at? Because the moon's in Scorpio today, babe. There's no
Is
way it's
it?
in Pisces.
Hold up. Hold the horses. December 16th, December 16th.
Where are you located? What chart? Like, do you have a
Oh, I
location?
pulled up Washington.
Well, even in Washington, December 16th, 2025.
Oh, I
You
hit
put
26. You're right. My bad.
damn, I ain't even
Oopsie.
started yet.
But this is why I have Heather. She has to slow me down. Sometimes I do. I have whatever's over your ninth house is your lifestyle. Okay. And I have Gemini over the ninth. So I'll squirrel out and I'll go from one thing to, and I'll just, sometimes I have too many things, there's too many options, and I actually need someone to interrupt me and go, do this first, do that second, do that third, because it'll be too much. Ask
Yeah,
Heather.
that's like the 7 that's like, the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Wands energy together is like
Yeah,
Gemini
it's like I have
house.
ADHD or something.
And we're both Virgos, so this
Yeah,
shows you how Virgos can play out a little differently because it's different based off of what house is over. So
yeah.
she has Sag over the third. So a good majority of the time, she's thinking about spirituality and higher knowledge.
I'm
Um,
putting pieces and patterns together like a puzzle in my mind constantly and
yeah.
looking at spirituality like it's a puzzle and looking at, like she said, in a few minutes, not in a few minutes. Look, it's
No, that
Scorpio
was back
again.
in the 26th. So on December 26th, pay attention because
No, right?
the moon will move
Oh,
from
look,
Pisces to
it says the
Aries.
16th. Hold on, let me look at
Well,
it
no, you
again.
got it fixed now. It's fixed now.
Oh,
Don't
the moon is in Scorpio
the moon you have to hit with transits, babe, and then you'll get it.
with transits.
Just continue, and then in the top right, hit plus. Oh no, 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 you're good. Just
The internet here is slower.
yeah, that's. I just noticed that.
No, actually, I think the internet here is fiber optics and it's slower.
Oh, we don't even need with transits. Okay, because you pulled chart of the. You plugged it in. I see what you
Yeah,
did.
I did.
Okay. Well, yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference between that and the chart of the moment. Um, and now it's blank. It's trying.
It's trying.
Okay. It's trying. So the moon's in Scorpio at the very tip of that kite that
Yeah.
we got going on today. All right. I'm interested. Mercury's still in a wide orb opposition to Uranus. Those are the higher octaves and lower octaves we were talking about with Mercury. Um, where's Mars? Mars is officially in Capricorn. Yay!
Halla freaking Lula.
That means we can get some shit done. That's what
That's a
happens with
Lula for
Mars.
me.
Yeah.
Lula.
Yeah. So Mars has finally moved into Capricorn. And
Look at Icarus. And Icarus is at 16 degrees with Vesta in Capricorn. Wouldn't that be a bit perfectionist mode? Or would that be pushing yourself to get a heart attack mode?
well, in Capricorn, um, I don't, to me, that conjunction, Icarus, yeah, you could fly too close, but I mean, it's also has the ability to fly that high in the first place. So that's just, I think I'm just talking about getting some shit done, but
That's
yeah,
a good
don't,
way to put it.
yeah, it's just like getting stuff done, for, wrapping up the holidays, doing this last, stint of work before you have to go on leave for the holiday or whatever. It's getting getting everything prepped. That's kind of how I see it. But
Mm.
I I'm curious because I thought there was more going on, but I thought I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking current planets.
The nodes have moved into the 12th degree, which is also a Piscean degree. Amba would let us know that right there. It's also a Piscean degree. So, of course, we're talking about astral travel and sleep and mental health, which keep it up, guys. Nobody's watching your advancement more than you. And I know you're working it. So keep it up. Keep it up. Y'all are doing a great job. Just the fact that you make it to your appointments, you guys. Amabel used to say, once begun, half done. And y'all are kicking it. I have an appointment tomorrow, actually, a group appointment. Yeah, I went back into the VA system for, the military folks. And man, this guy we got right now is so good. He's out of San Antonio. This guy's so good. He identified almost immediately that in my home with that Gemini over the ninth, which is the military. I don't know if you guys know that. Foreign invasions, foreign escapades and stuff, like the military's going to different places. And yeah, I'm still quote unquote digging my foxhole. He said you just run around like little ferret. Because
He
they
does.
told us your foxhole is never finished. And I was like, oh my God. Because you know, the brain doesn't stop growing until you're 25. So if you catch them when they're young and you set the brain pattern, I'm sorry, I'm going off in Uranus land.
Yeah, it's all right. That's all good. I was just looking at the chart and the Mars. It's hard to see because Juno's up there, but right above June, that's
Is that
yeah.
better?
1 degree Capricorn, even though Juno's showing right there, it's not Juno. That's Mars right there. And it's squaring down to Neptune and Saturn. And
Down
now
here.
the screen's too big to see, babe. You got to
Oh, is it?
unzoom it.
Is that
There
better?
we go. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Mars is squaring down to Neptune or Saturn and Neptune. So, I mean, granted, Capricorn, it's at 1 degree Capricorn. So I think the square to Saturn's trying to let off. But if that is a very, I mean, that's a very volatile energy. We got what Mercury's trining down to Neptune. So that can bring a little, I don't know, that Mars squaring down to Neptune is like a little OCD, I would think. It could also be a little abrasive. You think about the Mars square Saturn. I just want to back up, and I know that we started to talk about it, and then we moved away from it. But that is there's some volatile energy in the air where people are just snapping and breaking, and that instance with the Reiners that happened, that is very indicative. Indicative. I can't even talk today. Indicative of
Indicative.
Mars squaring Saturn. Mars action, blunt force, knives cutting, rash actions. Mars, right? Squaring down to Saturn, which is dad.
Mm.
That was kind of a hard Mars square Saturn. Those are more malefic, than the Venus Jupiter dynamic, right? It's not as nice. So if that incident that happened a couple days ago, that square was a whole lot tighter. Okay. And then it could
Mm.
also speak to um, Mars squaring down to Neptune. Taking It's almost like taking action on the dream in a way, where it's Christmas time. It's sort of like it's Christmas time is here. That Christmas song, seeing people
Yeah.
wanting to hurry and wrap up and being in the nostalgia. I really see that as being like a nostalgic energy and acting on that. But it can also be um, almost obsessive, compulsive, like um, a bit of a fixation, let me put it that way. An obsessive fixation as well on something in particular. So, but Mars and Capricorn wants to get some stuff done. Just,
Mm.
I'd say that everybody would be wise just to, utilize the energy, realize that Mercury's still opposing Uranus. And even though it's a wide opposition, it's still there. So just be careful how things come off with those
I
Mars
would
squares.
also say that Mars squaring Saturn and Neptune is getting the dream done, because it's going to
Yeah.
be a challenge to outthink it, outsmart it, try to figure out, how to solve for it. But you're right. It's that little space right there and this little space up here. They want to get it done.
Mhm.
And the Mercury in Sag, like you said, it's in its detriment. It might be moving too fast to try to get it done. And it's an opposition. So, you know, that Mercury position could be internal. It's
Well, and a beliefy.
Cancer. And no, it's not. It's in a Virgo degree right there. Too
Yeah, like
much would
too
it be like
much.
too much?
Too like putting making your beliefs so much more important than everybody else's. Could be a way that it could come off.
Yeah.
Um, that Mercury, I mean, it's starting to move a little faster since it's out of its shadow now. But it's it's or out of retrograde. It's trying to move faster, but that Uranus on the other side in Taurus is saying, and I will also say, because oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just looking, but Uranus is also like algal, which is the notorious decapitation fixed star. Somebody
Oh,
who loses their head over something is 26 Uranus or 26 Taurus. Uranus is right there, right? So keep in mind that pop off energy is still right there, and it's still within that range to where people's belief systems can cause them to think that their way is right. And I'd say be careful. And it doesn't even have to be belief system. I mean, this could also just think of on the road.
yeah, I
Everybody's
was
out
just thinking that parking your car
Everybody
at
yeah,
the place
everybody's
you're,
out there, they parking their car and doing all this stuff, and then I
yeah.
just had, like, a visual of somebody getting hot-headed, and then somebody getting mad that somebody got hot-headed, and it turning into weapons involved
Oh,
now. Like,
no.
well, Mars is where I was
No.
going with that Mars square.
Yo, no, I
That's
agree
somebody
with you because the
in the
Mars
Uranus
position in
chair.
Capricorn, man,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
right
and that
about that.
opposition to Uranus and being closer enough to algal. I mean, it's only like a degree to 2 degree orb right there. So that literally is still there that somebody could take and you can't predict what Uranus is going to do.
Yeah.
But it talks about it's in the house of values. And if somebody's values um, feel treaded on, I just saw the don't tread on me thing. If somebody's values feel treaded on or territory feels treaded on, they're out shopping, they're doing their thing, they're wrapping up their thing, getting all the items that they need. The tourists, they're getting all the items that they need for the holiday party or the get together or whatever.
Right.
And it could be a quick snap. And I mean, that snap is going to happen fast.
Yeah, like
So,
somebody carrying a tray and they're moving fast, and then somebody bumps into them and they didn't know. And then here comes the square where now people are angry and upset and going, Wah! Ah. um, I'm, that's the other thing I hate about the Pisces energy right here. It's us versus them sort of mentality
mhm.
where it could be definitely someone of a different culture or a different religion or looking at their history different from one another and creating this stuck point of us versus them and
that
getting
dynamic. Oh gosh, that dynamic. Yeah, no, babe. And you think about it, I don't know if you saw this. I'm getting high pitched squeals in my ears now. Um, when you said that, and you're talking about cultures, you guys saw what happened in Austria, right? Like there was that person and that there was a mass shooting on the beach, and the people were that was related, right? Like I don't remember the
it's a
stories,
social gathering, yeah, definitely, because
but it was
there's
about
rules on a beach which would be over here, but this is just people gathering on a beach where there's not supposed to be a whole lot of rules.
Yeah, Bondi Beach attacks is what it's called, Bondi Beach, and
Bondi Beach,
it was at a Hanukkah celebration,
which
and
is religious.
which is religious, and a father and a son, both adults, went out with giant guns and started just picking off people all over the beach. I mean, granted, there was a civilian that came in and got the gun away from one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It was a Hanukkah celebration, so they were attacking. It was a violent attack because of beliefs,
Yeah. Yeah.
religious
You're
beliefs.
like, tell us something good about this. Well,
Right.
I'll tell you something good. It's a good day to go home, sit on your couch, and take a nap. Just do it, man. It's a great moment.
What's good? What's good? Yeah, yeah. What's good? Well, you got the kite there too. Okay, so let's see what's good. Can
Oh,
you
wait,
scroll
wait,
down?
wait.
I can't
The
see the chart.
moon. What? All right, let me erase it. Let me erase it.
I just can't see the bottom of the chart, babe. So
Hold
if you
on,
could
babe. Hold
scroll.
on. Calm down, Pepe. I'm getting there. I want him to see the color and that we changed. Where are we doing? Down?
Yeah, just a little bit so I can see the chart.
Okay. What about
Well,
that?
yeah, if you can move your arrows.
All
There we
right.
go. Beautiful. All
Boop.
right, I just wanted to be able to see the whole chart of the moment.
You got a water trine in the water signs and connecting to that point. So look, when the water speeds up like that, when it's the trine is in the water, this is really good for emotional processing. It processes emotions faster. It gets you to that place of acceptance, release, forgiveness, whatever it is you're gunning for. The trine is helpful for that. Heather's turn. Go.
Oh, you want a positive thing, and I literally just saw another thing. Atropos is opposite Uranus too. I was just
Atropos means to disassemble something. And
to cut,
when
sever.
is
Yeah.
it to cut?
Oh yeah, Atropos is the severing cord
Oh,
of life.
yes, with the oracles, the
Yeah,
three oracles,
it's
and the
death.
one that
It's
cuts the thread.
the
So
end.
Atropos and Scorpio.
Yeah, yeah. That like I
Oh, there we are back at Rob Reiner again.
yes, yes. I mean, it is very much in the air, so it's one of those that I cannot. And I mean, even Jupiter is squaring Chiron and Eris right now. Okay, so what's good? I'm looking to find something good. I would say what's good right now, intuition is good. I'm going to say intuition is good with that trine.
Yeah.
Uh, we got the Saturn Neptune trining to Jupiter, sextile Uranus, sextile back up,
I mean,
and that's going to be going on for a long time. So I think that there's the good stuff is going to be that emotional support, like you were talking about with the trine and
yeah.
healing emotional support. I think between that and the minor grand trine, it's just further helping us process the ends. Okay. So all of those ends, when I talked earlier about the foot being halfway in the new, in our new life and halfway in the old world, right? Like in our old world, that this energy is helping us wrap up our old world stories and settling in that emotion that, okay,
Yeah.
now this is what it is now.
I can agree
So
with that. Because
so
look, Siva is involved right here. Siva at 20 degrees is opposite Jupiter in Cancer. So I agree. The old stories, it's almost like God walked in the room.
well, and he's retrograde, right? So he's retrograding back through Cancer. He's going to retrograde all the way back to 15 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's helping wrap up those old stories and helping us emotionally have that closure. Let me see what else. It's not a good time to, how do I say this? I would say that it's not a good time to just throw in the towel and let your emotions get the best of you. See, with the Mercury being in its detriment up there in Sag, okay, uh, it it can be very misconstrued. Your the ideas that you come up with can be misconstrued. Okay. So you have to, it is like separating head and heart. Yes, you have intuition, but I think that there does need to be some logic, extra step of logical examination rather than acting out of emotions. And the reason I say that, although that the North Node is in Pisces, the reason I say that is with the volatile energy, there's going to be the urge, and we're seeing it happen out loud on TV with people acting out with acts of violence, right? We're seeing that's happening. But with all the energies and people getting down, depressed, having some issues, it could also be somebody self-sabotaging their life away. Like, you know, like things have, let's say you're in a long-term relationship that you've been in forever and whatever. It doesn't mean that it's immediately time to snap and make a change immediately. Big changes have already been happening. If you're not already in that motion, don't think it's a brand new step you need to take.
Mm,
Okay. We're coming out of these retrogrades. These outer planets, Saturn and Neptune, are coming out and they're moving back into Aries. That carries forth that story, but it's not a time. This is going to be a time that somebody could easily, out of wacky stuff happening in the head and some,
mm,
struggling a little bit with emotions, the wacky stuff in the head can make somebody take that tower, give themselves tower card moments right now. And you could really screw yourself up pretty bad and all the people around you. So don't take any brash movements to start any major endings immediately. Now, if take this for what it's worth. If you're in a situation that's not safe, get yourself out. I'm not saying something like that, but I'm saying it's not necessarily a time to start a brand new project. Let me put it that way. Not a time to start a brand new this or that. That time's got to come once everything finishes going direct. But right now is not the time for that. I'll shush now. Sorry, I know you're still. I'm lecturing, and I'm sure you got stuff to say. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. I'm reading as well. I'm kind of seeing karma here in Scorpio sextiling Mars over here. And I didn't put in the midpoint, but the midpoint is fairly close, to the Mercury point right here. Which, if we have Mercury being aided and assisted by karma in Scorpio and then Mars, that's an oomph of power. It could also be like fireball. And when I saw that with Mercury and Sag, of all things, um, one of the, I had several news articles that I found. So, not that one, even though that one's cool. A triple shot. Hawaii is changing their name. There was an 8-hour long earthquake in California. This one would fit that karma assisting Mercury, Mars assisting Mercury. The three eye atlas still showing strange protrusion as it approaches Earth. So, new information there. I don't know if anybody has been tracking that story. I have. Hold on. That one was about plastic. No, it actually had to do with an aircraft that went down today, like a few hours ago, and it was trying to land, I think, in it was like a park of some kind. I want to say it was like a golf. It was a park, and the aircraft came down, and that the chart would actually lend to something like that. That's why I'm kind of bringing that part up. Sorry. You were
No,
like,
it's
what are
okay.
you thinking of? And I'm like, well, the news
No,
article.
Oh, I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't heard anything about that. Um, I was just trying to look at my chart too. Not my personal chart, but I'm looking at a chart on
I'm also
my
kind
side.
of checking out the nodes right here at 12 degrees and us getting on one side with Virgo is being assisted over here by the Libra energy on one side and the Leo energy on the other. And the South Node getting this boost, which is why I agree with Heather that if there is someone involved in your storylines right now, you probably do know this person. You know, there is probably a history there between you. And then you have, you know, the North Node also having an issue moving forward because of the same dang things of Libra on one side and Leo on the other.
Mhm.
So we're both being aided and assisted. And then at the same time, those very same things, which would indicate a Gemini Mercury in Sagittarius, those very same things, this very same person, you could love them and you could want to strangle them at the same time. I live in that constantly, so I understand.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, walk over here.
Don't
Walk over here right now.
don't strangle me, Miriam.
Oh, not you. Not you. I don't think I've gotten to that point with you.
Your chart looks a little different. I'm gonna share for just a second
Okay.
if I can get it to work. We'll see. We'll see. I know mine's. I don't why. Oh, you do it. Oh, when you click it, you got it to blow up that way. Is that showing okay?
Yeah, that shows
Yeah,
great.
that sounds great. Okay, so chart of the moment. I have some different types of asteroids plugged in. Feel free to check them out if you want. But I have quintiles figured in mine too. So if you notice here that 12-degree North Node Pisces that she was just talking about, right? So it's got a quintile. Um, there we go. I didn't even try to figure it, but it's got the quintile over to Mars right now, and that's a pretty little special feature here. It's almost like and Pluto's quintile the moon right now, and that's a very short-lived thing. But quintiles talk about a almost like a special gift, if you will. A gift that helps things get done faster. I do kind of like that movement for Mars as well. Um, let's see. Oh, Lilith's at 29 Scorpio. Get that girl out of there. Get that girl out of Scorpio already. So in a couple days, that'll get a little better, guys. With if you're struggling with any sort of hmm, angsty, jealousy, vengeful type energies, Lilith moving out of Scorpio will help that. That should definitely start
Yeah, but
easing
then
up
she
here
moves
pretty
into
soon.
Sag and, you know, on comes the
What's
cape.
Mouthy about, right?
On comes
True.
the cape and literally like the Cape of Florida or the Cape Horn, you know,
Yeah.
let's go on an
Oh,
adventure. Let's go drive. Let's go
let's go
merry
play.
freaking Christmas all over this town. It's going to be
Ah,
like that.
Juno. Look at that. Juno's with the sun and Sag today.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's like this huge, your heart wants to do this, but you also want to strangle the person.
Oh, Rip is right there. Rip, asteroid
Yeah.
Rip, uh,
Zero
is right there with
degrees,
Pluto. Yeah.
which would be touching karma in a square. Yeah, man.
Yeah, down there. Woo. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll stop sharing. But that's what I was
The
looking at.
transformation, it really wants to come through. But there's, and it is, you're right. Mars will move, the moon will move, everybody's going to move. Just calm down, Pepe. Give the clock a little bit of time if you can, and
I just got
just
another thought too.
uh, I see if you're going to use the South Node Virgo energy for anything right now, it's to get it out of your head and onto a piece of paper, because Uranus has figured out, science has been studying the brain, and it is true. It is true that if you manually write with your hand, it does slow the brain down, but it also shoots electricity to a different part of your brain that can help you relax and just kind of let it go and be okay. And so if you need to write that letter, I did it last week
You did.
to a
Yeah.
lovely, lovely, beautiful person who was a huge part of my existence. And she is out there, but writing it down.
Yeah.
And use it for your shadow work, please. Use it to say the apologies you need to say. Use it to return the things you need to return. Because believe it or not, even though it looks tense in the chart, um, it also has that you and this other person already know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Neptune and Pluto have been in a sextile for generations now, and it's only gotten stronger towards the spiritual end. Notice the last decan of this. And maybe there would, if that son had spoken to his father and voiced it, there would have probably been a better shot at chancing down into a happy ending instead of chancing down into murder.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even with that particular uh
Incident.
situation, there's Conan O'Brien, they were at a party at Conan O'Brien's, I guess, and right before I came on the live, I think it was Bill Hader, I had a got interrupted by their son at the
Hmm.
party, and I guess there was a skirmish at the party, or he seemed standoffish. Something wasn't right with him, and like they were worried about him, so they brought him to Conan's party. And everybody could tell. Somebody was like, something ain't right. Something's off with, And if something
Yeah,
seems off, then it probably is. That's where that trine
would
helps
help.
people intuition to know.
Like those
So
folks on the beach.
you see something, you say, right. You see something, you say something. One thing that you were talking on also, and it brought me back to seeing Juno paired up with the sun.
Mm.
Um, I think that the way that I can intuit that is that collectively there's been so many changes in relationships this year that I think that a lot of us are learning that half in, half out. We're evolving. We're becoming new people. Our relationships are evolving. And I think that Sun Juno is very indicative of us coming to terms with that again. I know I've said that somewhat similar, but the way it came through was um how, like, coming to terms with and having a better understanding of how those changes in relationship have, how we've changed, how we've evolved as a person,
Right.
and figuring how does that fit now. So like a lot of people on their spiritual journey, especially when you're first getting started, you start to feel ostracized. You feel like nothing feels right. Like the same people that you used to hang out with, you just, things you like didn't they don't jive with you anymore. And I think that with the holidays coming up and having to make decisions about the people that you're going to be around, and you know, um, just kind of culminating everything that's happened this year, have grace with yourself. If you need to cut things short, cut conversations short with people, don't be afraid to set those boundaries just to give yourself a little peace. I think that everybody's do that grace to themselves. Don't let people feel bad about your boundaries. And if you can't show, I know we're gonna be back before Christmas anyways to talk to you, but
I'm going to throw in there as well, because Mercury is kind of involved there in that opposition to Uranus. I don't know a whole hell of a lot of people who are really good at communication. I think that's why they keep writing all those self-help books on communication, why we, as a peoples must go through so much training at work because we suck. So if there is something that looks off, sounds off, and it's from a person that you got question marks, do yourself a favor, do the other person a favor. And you don't have to. Amabel used to say, say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. Don't say it mean. And I'm guilty of that, as much as anyone else.
yeah.
However, it would be good for us to repeat back what you heard they said, sometimes just the repeating back. It would be like this. So what I heard is that you're okay with leaving the door open all night. Like, you're all right with that. And it helps to pad for the other person to jump in there and fix it. No. I didn't mean it leaving it open all night. I meant cracking it open during the day. Give people the opportunity, please give people the opportunity to correct their statements if they need to. Just a little legway. We're supposed to be building bridges with one another, not burning them down, sort of thing. Boundaries are movable, they are not walls. They're movable, as they should be. We talk about being a loving community and stepping into the future. When our communities are formed, you should hear when Heather and I have a disagreement. You should hear it. She's making that face because what?
No, I was making a mess.
No. I thought you were making the face because you were like, her and I don't get into disagreements. Not really. Not really. Even Jamie coming to the house, we're awakened. We're awake. We have the ability to stand back and look at something and say what they're saying about me isn't true. That's not the way I see myself. Let me go take a knee and go real quick, or to stand back and say they're not really angry at me. They're angry at something else, but they're not really angry at me. They just need me for the moment. And at that point, you throw up the boundary, right? You can need me as a dumpster for your stuff, but you only got 10 minutes, go.
Yeah.
Right. And then take me out to ice cream because now you owe me. We're awakened.
Yeah.
We live, die, and breathe to make sure we're not recreating karma. It's also not a good time to go stalking somebody, so don't do that either. In fact, I highly encourage everyone to do only those things which um, especially right now.
Right. I'm also going to say and play off of something that you just said, like dump it on other people. So Mercury and Sag, it's your annual or monthly reminder that not everything you think needs to be said out loud. Okay. Not every opinion you have needs to be heard by everybody. And beware of the
Kickback.
need, the ego. Well, the thing is the ego. If you're into spirituality and all that stuff, psychology, and you want to talk about the ego's not all bad. Nobody get anywhere in life if they didn't have ego helping move shit for them, right? So I will just say that the ego is it can confuse people on boundaries. And what I mean by that is keeping in mind that everybody's going through their own thing. You don't know where people are at. There'll be times where, I can really feel adamant about something and like, I've got to talk about this. I've got to have this talk with Miriam. I've got to get this. I got to talk. And she may be having a really hard day, and it's not the time to do it. I don't just assume that she's, all well and whatever, and then just start dumping on her. Okay. Don't trauma dump on somebody else. This, especially through the holidays, if you need to be heard, pa- practice that discernment to say, this person matters too. Do I really want to dump on them and make them have a shitty rest of their day just because I need to be heard?
What is
That's
up
your
with
reminder.
that? Every time
That's your
something like
reminder.
I think Pluto and Sag generation. I don't know. We'll do a whole nother live on
But
past
that, I mean,
lives
Mercury's in Sag,
and
so that's
stuff.
why.
But notice
Yeah,
what I was about ready to go, man. I was
I
about
know.
ready to go. You
We
saw
have
it on my
we have
face.
we have things about that. It doesn't mean that
Pause.
that if the person says, "Look, I'm at my limit right now. I can't. I care about you, but I don't have the emotional or mental reserves or the time to talk about this." Don't get your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
Take a breath, take a knee, and say,
Take a
okay,
knee.
and then
Breathe.
that'll not only give you time to reflect, but when you do have that conversation, it's going to probably be at a higher octave because that person's going to be ready to hear what you're getting ready to throw down on them. And they're like, okay, well, and that's what
Yeah.
friends do. That's
Well,
what
I think the
family
folks on our channel work a lot at that, actually. I think the folks on our channel have worked very hard on seeing what's in their lane to deal with and then staying in their lane and being able to just try to sit back and let the other person have their experience. Sometimes I will go to Heather and I'll be like, something about this astrology stuff. It gives us the ability to cheat. If you're just, it does. The moon moves into Aries and you're at a function that's a holiday, everybody's eating dinner and they're getting louder. The moon's in Aries. So what do? No, thanks. I'll take the non-alcoholic drink tonight and boot my booty out into the yard to hang out with Uncle Joe. Because Uncle Joe, he likes laughter, and I'm
right.
gonna hang out with Uncle Joe. So it gives us the ability to kind of cheat or choose something else. Ooh, Aries, I won't go drive very fast and angry up on the freeway right now. I will go out for a swim at my buddy's swimming pool because he's out of town. And a lot of these ways we get to cheat. And we cheat death, but we just refuse we still participate, right? You still want to participate because if you go into the hermit reverse for too long, spirit's coming to get you. Like, I ain't doing that. I'm going out into the world.
Right.
Yeah. And Heather and I, we're gonna sit with you guys more through the holiday season. I think it's important right now, as we start moving up towards the end of the month, because our first solar eclipse is happening in February. It's a total solar eclipse, and
I'm excited because well, a few things. The solar eclipse. So we have the eclipse season next year. They're in 4 different elements. That's not typical. So we got Aquarius February the 17th, a Virgo eclipse on March 3rd, Leo solar eclipse on August 12th, and then a Pisces eclipse on August the 27th. So it's like all 4 different elements. That doesn't normally happen. But I was
yeah,
going to pull a card. I was going to pull a card, and my cards literally just felt my energy of my message that I was saying, because it showed me the Ace of Cups talking about have compassion and understanding and patience, and stay out of your damn head.
yeah.
Go within, seek that enlightenment and
I
practice
look at
discernment.
those cards, and my first thought was, if it's the ball is not in your court right now, then try to relax. Like, if you have no control to make a choice, If you have zero control to make a choice with something, just pick it up in your head or write it down and set it down over there and say, I've done everything I could do up to this point. I sit and I wait on Malaka Lamb, and then let it go and let
Yeah.
spirit fill the hole. And just because you let it go, I can't
Yeah.
make a choice about that today. So just for today.
Just set it down. Tomorrow's another day.
So,
And looking in the chat here, I appreciate y'all hanging out here with us and um, storytelling. Okay.
what if I am an Aries? What if I am an Aries? I should stop alcohol.
Aries are very loyal.
Oh.
And
Aries
no, no.
are beautiful people. Don't even get me wrong. Some of the most gentle, sweetest clients I've had Aries moons.
Yeah.
Very
But
forgiving.
I
Very
think
forgiving.
we weren't just pointing out the alcohol thing for Aries. We're
No,
pointing
no,
out
no,
the
no.
alcohol for the it's not just alcohol, it's drugs. Like uh there's too much out. Let me just say, the cosmos do not support in overindulgence in any way, shape, or form, or experimenting with anything new that could possibly take you out. The reason being, Neptune's at 29 degrees Pisces. That is conjunct fixed
Prison.
star. That is prison. That is hospital.
It's prison.
That's confinement. That is mental hospitals. That's rehab. That's like the place that you don't f around because you will find out.
Yeah.
And it may be a day or two after a bender, but if you're one that gets told, or you end up having a fight with your spouse every time you drink, then maybe don't drink. But not saying don't enjoy
Oh,
yourself. If
I
you want to
love
drink,
Aries because they're the first ones to get excited about throwing a party and having a good time with friends. I love Aries because if you have a new idea and you're like, I think I'm going to go down there, Aries will be the first one to be like, oh, let's go. So yeah, I do agree. Very loyal, will back you up. The Aries is supposed to have total freedom. Like with a sun sign, I'd say Aries energy needs total freedom and independence to do,
yeah,
to have all the buffet options in the world to try out, to do. So you'll see each Aries individually, and this is like spirit in a brand fresh new baby form, running around going, I can do that, and I'm gonna go try to zip line
anything you
off
can
a
do, I can
cliff.
do better. That's Aries. Anything you can do, I can do better and
Anything
faster and
you
get it
can
done
do, I
first.
can do better. I run around the house singing that song. I have Aries on the 7th. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Mars
and
is Cancer. So I'm at home and I'm like, anything you can do, I can do better at home.
I'm an Aries rising,
So
so
anything, I don't know, man. You've done a lot with your body and your looks. She's shown me how many times she's colored her hair over the years.
oh yeah, I've been platinum blonde. I've been a redhead. I've had hot magenta pink hair. I've done a lot of different colors. I see Tao in the chat. We're not that extreme. We put people's emotions before ourselves so
I agree with
much.
that, Tao.
When I see injustice, we don't hesitate to show
Did you
that under
read
period.
that? Yeah,
Agree
I
with
do agree
that.
with that after 30. And I think it's that in conjunct placement to Virgo because Virgo is the same. Virgo
Mhm.
is a brat until after their first Saturn. And then after that, they know a thing or two. And that would go
I
definitely with Aries.
I'm an Aries rising, Virgo sun, and I was an asshole when I was a teenager.
I
I
love that
really
the Aries energy is not trying to push it in anyone's face unless there's certain placements. So yeah, I agree with you. The Aries energy is meant to be innocent. It's meant to be excited. And when they do a good job and they stand back, it is normal for the Aries energy to show, but they're not like a Leo. A Leo is different in their energy because of their placement opposite to the 11th house to Aquarius.
What was
Aries,
her name?
Who?
Aries. I'm getting flashed an archetype and I can't think of her name. So we watched the 1923. What was the one before it?
Oh, 1893
So
on Paramount.
1893 on Paramount. If anybody has watched that series, what's the girl's name? That she actually narrates both.
Yeah,
What the girl,
Indians.
the blondie?
I don't know.
No,
I'll pull it up. 1893 girl's name.
it's like the perfect depiction of the innocence of Aries, as well as the savageness of Aries. And the reason behind the savageness directly ties to what you were just saying in the chat. But like that stand up for anybody that's being oppressed or, hurt. Aries is the first one to jump in. Aries is like a first responder. It's that kind of brave energy to stand up against tyranny.
Elsa.
Elsa.
Yeah, let me
So
share
if
my
it,
screen
yeah,
so
that
people can see.
her energy just depicts it because it's just such beautiful energy for
Yes,
Aries,
this
and
this
kind of
girl
play
right
it all the
here,
dynamics. Yeah,
Elsa, her character in the show 1883, my apologies.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. She's so Aries in every sense of the word. And she is a fighter, she is a protector. You're right about that. But if you
Mhm.
want to see an Aries in person and what they look like, it's her in the show 1883.
Yeah.
She's
Sorry.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, and there's so many different parts of the chart. So when we say, when in astrology, you'll hear us talk about all the different parts. Or do you have? We were talking earlier. Do you have Pisces over the third house? We're talking about that. We're all mutts. We all have the energies of every zodiac sign. Yes, even the one, and that was the biggest crush. Like when I first learned my chart, and I had this stigma, against Scorpio, right? I had
Mm.
the stigma against Scorpio, and then I looked and I was like, oh shit, you mean I have Scorpio? You mean this part of my life, I'm Scorpio? I mean, my relationship, Pluto on my descendant, I'm Scorpio, and everybody I attract to Scorpio, like just saying. So we're all mutts. So don't
I know
put
it
any
all
of the
depends on the angles, you know,
sign.
and we are still like harmonizing with our definitions around the angles. A lot of them, a lot of the definitions can become repetitive. And so having these cool astrology talks, I was telling Heather the other day, even listening to podcasts, it fills your vocabulary so that you're
Mhm.
better able to describe and harmonize with, the way you're scanning a chart or those visions you see in your mind. How many of you guys in the comment section are able to actually zone into a chart to where you begin intuitively seeing things? Do you guys have that gift?
Well, and I like that you also earlier in our chat brought up the picture of that house off the lake and saying that that's the mother-in-law's back door to step off when she's
Sleepwalking.
sleepwalking and fall into the water. And you were like, I tie that to the Pisces, whatever image. That is a really great method
Yeah.
for learning astrology and better understanding the zodiac signs, their archetypes, the energies that you deal with the signs. I do that all the time. So
Right.
if you start to play like that, let's say you see a kid running down the street, like a kid just running down the street screaming his head off, right? Not because he's mad or crying, but he's just, wow, you look out and you go, man, that's some fire energy, right? That's fire. I mean, but that's
Yeah.
Gemini. It's moving. It's young. Gemini is
Yeah.
young.
Young.
So if
I
you
would
start
put
to
it
look at
Mars, Mercury, Leo energy combo
yeah, yeah,
ish,
very much so.
you
Yeah,
know.
there you go. So that's a
Um,
great way to start teaching yourself the language of astrology,
right.
and it helps you better understand it. And it's like a game that you can play,
It
with
is.
with yourself, or, you know, even if you have a friend that's into astrology, start talking shop with them like that, you know.
Yeah,
It
it
helps
helps.
grow your vocabulary, and the vocabulary words is another way to go with it. I remember like a month ago, you and I were outside talking, and I said,
Mhm.
you know, when I first learned astrology, started learning astrology, and I'm self-taught, like, with the exception of the, you know, the people that I've studied with, but like to learn to where I could even get to the point where I felt like I could take a course on anything, I started doing word affiliation. And so if we're talking about Aries, what words specifically come in? You think of pioneer, you think of fire, you think of
Warrior.
warrior, you think of action, you think of, you know, enter sexy time, you know.
Yeah.
That's very Martian. You think of sports,
Yeah.
athletes, you know, you
Kicking
think of,
someone.
yeah,
Yeah. I
and I
could
was like,
kick
it would have
you.
been so helpful had I had that back then. You know, now everybody's got AI and Google and all the things to learn,
Right.
but doing the words and doing those associations helps you be able to better understand astrology. So,
Right.
a lot of comments going on in the chat right now.
Mia
Taking a look.
Moore is asking what my sun sign is. I am a Virgo, 22-degree Virgo sun sign, conjunct Vesta in the 12th house. I'm also a 7-degree Mercury Virgo in the 12th house. So I got some 12th house energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I've done a lot of studying on mental health, on alcoholism, on how families are affected. And wow, mental health. What else? I've had that gender thing in my world where I will have authority as a female in some way and then have to be in an environment full of men and know how to handle all of these men. Um, when I worked at Laughlin Air Force Base, I was an inspector for Congress. I was for the contracts that were enacted on the base and supporting the aircraft. Well, let's just say there's 4 hangars and it was hangar 3. It was hangar 3 out of, and they weren't like the other hangars. No, they weren't. This was the only hangar that chose not to hire any women. No women. I'm an
Mm,
inspector at this point, so I have a little more pull. And I
right.
go into the hangar and I need to use the restroom. There's a female's restroom in hangar 3, but there were 15 guys all sitting down playing with their phones blocking the restroom that I needed to go into, which opened a door into one of those creepy, hollowed out hallways that has like a flickering light, like you're in prison, some shit. I'm in the hallway. I turn the corner. All 3 stalls do not have a lock on the doors. So you mean to tell me that with all this cinder block around me, if I am a female and I go into this restroom by myself, not only am I not heard,
Right.
but anyone could come in there, lock the door behind them, and hurt me. Man, do not think for a moment I wasn't Aries. I had the fire coming out my head because I have Mars conjunct Jupiter in Cancer right on my midheaven line in the 10th. And I walked my butt straight up to the dom. This was in the Air Force, the dom of all of the maintenance. And I said, you come here and speak with me now, please. And I got that shit fixed in less than an hour. How many
Oh yeah.
years had that been going on? That's the
Right.
sort of stuff I end up in, where I must stand up and defend women, their rights, their protection, their privacy. I didn't mean to go off like that, but it is an Aries energy to protect
No,
women, unless they're
it's
set up as they're angry at women in some way, like Moon opposite Mars, Moon conjunct Mars.
I was looking as you were doing that, I was pulling our chart.
Oh,
Does
together?
it, does it show or is it working? Did I do it
Yeah, it's
right?
showing.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. There we go.
Man, I still go back and fight that fight.
That well, I would too. But here's us together. If you're interested in seeing what our charts look like combined, she's a Libra rising. So if you notice, Miriam's on the outside, right? I do have you on the outside, right? Yeah, I
See
have
how I
Miriam on
have
the
Palace is on my ascendant line, actually. Palace
yeah.
is right on my ascendant line. So
Well, let me
I get
take this.
mad.
Let me
And
take
I get
this out.
mad for the right thing.
I'm taking this back just a step, and I'm gonna do just your chart.
Oh,
Um,
because she wants to see it.
yeah. Just a second here. Let me put
Yeah,
that.
because there's a lot of like, let's learn about Alcoholics Anonymous today. And you're like, oh, okay.
Well, no,
Alcoholics Anonymous.
it's just that it's easier to see what you're talking about. I think for those that struggle with I don't know why I
Man,
have, but
I'm
those
still
that
mad about that. I got to calm
people that
down.
are learning astrology, let me put it that way, um,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
actually see what you're talking about. Mm, share screen. All right, I'm back. I'm almost there, guys. I promise. Share that thing right there. All right, you should see Miriam's chart now. Yeah, so yeah, she's a 12th houser. Mercury, Vesta, and her son are conjunct right there. And if you think about the story that she just told, it's interesting because I see that hidden. You got Virgo, but it's in the 12th house, right? There was a thing that other people didn't see as a problem. It was a hidden issue, right? 12th house. She's a
Yeah,
Virgo. She spotted that hidden issue
I
and
did.
brought it up as like, this is a danger zone. Don't, like this is not okay. And she was able to power through and bring that out. But yeah, that Aries over the seventh house. And I love that your Chiron is in Taurus, and that's cute. That's my palace energy. So her palace, she's right, is right there conjunct her
My
ascendant line.
ascendant is like, right. I have Psyche on my ascendant too.
Yeah,
There's a
and
thing for
palace,
women, like a big protection for women
yeah,
and mothers, especially mothers, huge protection thing. I've been called into many homes and to help with mental health issues or the children or whatever. And once I get in there and get the lay of the land and I could see how the women are treated, I make the adjustments that I need to. But 110% of the time, it's the
that,
mother. She's the anchor.
that's
And
that right there.
when doing the evolutionary astrology stuff, there are past lives in attachment to me and to Heather, where her and I have worked together several times, whether we were monks, whether we were nuns, whether we were in wars. It didn't matter. We had the women and the mothers and the babies, they were ours to protect, to provide for, to work for, and to serve. And so there was even a past life we ran into between Heather and I where she had taken me in and was trying to protect me. She was always in a higher rank than I was. And that Virgoan way, Virgo rules ranks and ranking. But Heather always had the higher bit. So if we were nuns, I was a regular nun and she would have been like the mother, you know, of the abbey or something like this, where the full responsibility and weight of even the community and so on and so forth would rest on Heather. So hers was kind of different. Like she's coming from a career over an entire call center where she had to mother all these people. And that's the sort of higher ranking Heather has. I would have had a group. She would have had like the nation, and the
Yeah.
responsibilities that come with that.
Yeah.
But
That mother, you figure Chiron too up there in the eighth house Taurus and a Venus deacon right there.
these are
That's a
basic
very,
needs. These are
that's,
basic needs.
yeah. And it's opposing Cirrus and her part of fortune, right? Okay. It's a 4-degree orb in the opposition. But oppositions, just because you see the red line, it doesn't mean it's bad. There's a tension there, right? There's a tension, but honestly, the energy is once identified and mastered. I say mastered because it's always Chiron is always going to be a work in progress, but it's the wounded healer, right? It's the wound that we come into this life with, but it's also the wound that although we can never fully heal it, it becomes that wand. It becomes that ace of wands that that gives us that drive to,
Mhm.
like they said in the chat, fight for the underdog.
And
The
you can
Chiron.
see in my chart how I kind of threw my body in between, or I was in between. The basic needs were I don't know. For me, looking at it, it's sort of like my voice being, I'm speaking reality of what's needed. And Heather must have jumped in there as well.
Let me
But Heather and
back.
I, it's curious because right now we're living in my house in Del Rio, and it's just her and I, and the cats and the dog, and it's so peaceful.
It is so peaceful, with the exception of the dogs, the neighbors' dogs, the 15 of them that want to
What is up with
bark
that?
24 hours a day.
And
It's
when I
so
sit
fresh.
with our chart, I kind of go, "Did we earn this?"
Well, you mentioned, like the thing is this time, like you were there to when I needed that pickup, you were there. Here's our synastry. I'm on the inside and Miriam's on the outside. Right here, her
She's gonna point it
you
out.
guys can't see it because I don't have it plugged in, but right there on my Uranus is my asteroid Miriam, which Uranus rules astrology, seventh house of relationships. Moon's also like a mothering energy, also like a very intuitive energy. And Juno is the asteroid of the partner, the perfect, they say the spouse, the spouse that you know, that's meant for you. It's kind of funny because it's hers is right there on the very end of my seventh house cusp. We have some few other really important connections. My Pluto sits exactly right there on my descendant. And that's in my chart, that's where my asteroid Heather sits, is right there. So, anyways, my Pluto is right there, and her moon, her mama energy, is right there on my Pluto. So for most people, a moon Pluto is not a very, I mean, you ask Miriam, she has in her first house uh the Pluto and the moon. I mean, granted her
Conjunct,
north,
yeah.
yeah, Pluto, her moon and her Pluto are in the same house, in the first house. It's a heavy energy to deal with.
Oh,
But
she
when it's
doesn't like it when
involved,
I go into my moods. She'll come in there and be like, "Look, this can't keep going on. Get up, do something, because you're dragging me down." And I'd be like, "Just let me go take a nap." That's always the reset. Just let me go
yeah,
nap it out, and I'll get up and
6
we'll
hours
we'll
later.
choose
Kidding.
something a little more Aries.
When you guys hear me say that, that's just a little play on SpongeBob, that intermediate break in,
3 hours later.
hours later, are you gonna
Are you gonna
but
wake
it
up?
is. It's
Yeah, wake
very
up. Hang on. Because, I don't know
depressing.
if you know this, but when you guys are sleeping, there's a certain point going into REM energy where your brain literally flushes itself and cleans itself. It's like the little scrubbing comes out and they do the little scrub bubbles in your brain, and it helps
Right.
to process all of the stimuli that we picked up during the day. It kind of gets washed and refreshed. And so if you're having sleep troubles, like a Gemini can't sleep, or the full moon or something gets to you and you can't sleep, yeah, you're really exhausted. Your brain is exhausted. Your eyeballs are, trying to continue to work normally by picking up stimuli. And it just can't. So my system with the sun and Mercury in the 12th house, sleep is really important to any kind of Pisces energy. Really a
Yeah.
lot, because according to astrologers, ancient astrologers, maybe even a couple of millennia forward, they knew that all the past lives that are in the Akashic records in the 11th house in Aquarius energy, subconscious of the part of the brain, when it starts moving into Pisces energy, it's got to filter through all of those past lives and all the stimuli of all of those past lives. And so when we get into Pisces energy, this is where the system does this processing. It's why Pisces sleeps so much. Let them sleep. They must continue to heal all of the things they saw, because whatever goes into Pisces in 12th house energy, it gets dissolved. So when you get a stack up of pancakes like that, yeah, so when I sleep, I'm processing moon conjunct my Pluto in the first house. My body carries a lot of grief, mother grief, tremendous amount of mothering grief. And so my body needs to process the sadness. And it's one of the things in my plan that we talked about at the very beginning of the video. Part of my plan is to sleep it off. It helps.
Just don't start sleepwalking and go out the mother
Go out the
unknown.
back door. Man,
I
we
go
heard
I go
that
out
and we were
the back
cackling
door. That's right.
so long, hours, days, weekends. That
I
was
was
also
noticing
the
that.
place where we saw the baby with the very large ears. We were asked to babysit another baby. It was so bad we took a picture. That's how bad it was. It was terrible.
I'll never
We
forget
hoped that the little girl grew her hair out really long and covered her ears. But
one of my
it's
first
stuff like
one of my
that.
boy I'll never forget one of my boyfriends in I think middle school. And gosh, it may have even I think maybe it was even elementary, like 6th, 5th or 6th grade or something like that. The boyfriend. I had the biggest crush on him, but he was so cute, but his ears were like this big, and I'm like, everybody
Did you know
teased
the
him.
ears never stop growing?
I did, nor
And
does
your
the nose.
nose.
Roxanne, y'all remember that Steve Martin
Oh, I
movie?
love that song.
Who mows your nose hairs? Yeah, the Roxanne movie from I think the 80s, where his nose, Steve
Hi,
Martin's
B.
nose
Perigee.
is really
Perigee.
big.
Well, you guys get some good sleep. We've been on here for a minute.
Yeah, we sure
Mhm.
have, and I hope you guys enjoyed the little chit chat. This,
If you're at the $18 level on our Patreon channel, Woke.Ones.Revolution, the link is down below. I'm probably gonna feed little miss here, our little princess here. I say our, it's really
she's not
John's.
talking about you guys. She's talking
No,
about
but I'm gonna go to the $18 level on the Patreon channel and hang out with you guys over there for a minute. Just give me about, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45. Yeah, go hang out with you
well,
guys
cool.
there.
Yeah, and so we got a lot of new things coming out. And so there was a question here. Sorry.
Me por
Mia
así.
Moore and you, Heather. I don't know what your question was.
No,
Yeah, she has mom vibes.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with that's both of our charts. I just noticed the mom vibes. My Cirrus is close to your Jupiter MC degree. So if you guys notice, like, and if you've been with us long enough, like, um, Miriam, I kind of took Miriam in under my channel over here on Woke.Ones.Revolution. I did that, there were some attacks and things that were happening that was not okay. And I'm like, I got you, girl. I'm come covet you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
covet you, and I still have to do that with her because she's a Libra rising, Libra
I'm a
moon,
ditz,
and
man.
she,
I walk straight
she
into it like, hey guys, what's going on?
yeah. I'm like, no, you don't have to tend to everybody. Stop it, stop it. So I'm like, nope, nope. She's grounded for now.
Right?
Squirrel. All
Squirrel.
right, but yeah,
Dirty
we've got
ledge.
yeah, we've got plenty of things going on, but appreciate you guys chilling with us today. We're gonna be popping on a lot more, but we're also going to be doing we have our patrons, but we're also going to be starting a YouTube membership, and it's likely to include these kind of live sessions and things like that. I think Miriam's really wanting to talk about doing some. She's talking about wanting to do synastry charts and things with people
Oh,
on
relationship. Yeah.
relationship
It's time we as a
astrology.
people began moving towards the relationship charts. Um, and we have been setting up for that. We needed to wait for a few other things and on the business side to kind of click on. But to be able to sit and use evolutionary astrology with your relationships so that you can love your children better, or for you to know if this person is a karmic or if they're the one. Is this a good time for him to or her to be far away from me? But yeah, we're going to start moving into the relationship stuff.
But yeah, so keep an eye out. We love hearing you. Don't forget, when you join our Patreon, you don't have to be a paid member, but when you can join our Patreon. Sometimes I put everything for free, um, and it's not always going to be stuff that's over here on YouTube. So be sure to check
Yeah.
that out. Members get extra benefits, so including monthly tarot readings for each of the 12 signs from us. So on tarot. So yeah, we've talked. I've elaborated enough, and I'm ready to go eat some lunch myself. But it's love you guys.